No, no. The music had cut off in the middle of the countdown. I don't know why. Hello, everybody. Mel Raposo, Coconut Wireless. We got a good show tonight. Thank you for joining us. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Let me bring on Uncle Charlie here. What's up, Uncle Charlie? Oh, muted, 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 muted. You are muted. Nope. Cannot hear. Nope. Are you playing with me, Uncle Charlie? Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. All of that stuff. While we get these technical issues out of the way, we have a special guest tonight who is Charlie. You cannot get on. I I know you're muted, and Mayor Mayor Alameda is trying to come on, and he keeps getting bounced out. I'm not sure why. Can you guys hear me? Okay. If you guys are, I muted on your end. No, I show you full. Okay, now I muted you. Now I unmuted you. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when you go live. Okay, Patsy is saying she can hear me. Okay, perfect. I don't know where. I'm a little concerned with Mayor Alameda because he keeps popping on in my green room and then he pops out. And Uncle Charlie, we cannot hear Uncle Charlie. I'm not sure why. Okay, the mayor is trying again. Let's try this one more time. Okay, I see him. I think I see him. Let me bring on the mayor. Mayor Kimo Alameda from the Big Island. Let's try to bring him on and let's see. Aloha there, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, aloha.
Okay, we can hear the mayor. Where you stay, Mr. Mayor? Where you stay? I see you're
No, I'm
a little jerky,
yeah.
so the Wi-Fi
I'm in.
must not be. But we can hear you. We can hear you.
Well, I'm in the deep woods of Pahala Kau. So yeah, the connectivity is a bit rough.
Well, the audio is coming in loud and clear. We cannot hear Uncle Charlie though. I don't know why. Uncle Charles, you know what? He get that expensive headset. You know what? The guy with the microphone built in.
Right.
Unfortunately, Charlie, can you hear us though? Can you hear us? Okay, he can hear us. Okay. Well, for those of you tuning in, aloha again. This is Mel with Uncle Charlie and our very special guest tonight, Mayor Alameda, from all the way from the Big Island, and we are just honored to have him here. Let me just real quick. I'm going to put up some comments here from our guests. Our viewers. Auntie Stephanie, happy holidays. Gary Holtquist, happy holidays. It's my brother Brian. Mayor, that's the one I was telling you about. He called me. He messaged me a while back and said, "Hey, you got to get Kimo Alameda on your show." I told you the story the other night, but anyway, Brian, we finally got him on. We finally got him on. Kaleo Keolanui. Aloha. Susan Pereira. Some of these people, Mayor, is our villagers from way back, and they have hung on to the Mel and Charlie show. We still cannot hear Charlie. It's going to be an interesting show. My lovely wife, Patsy. Awesome. Patty Kawakami. Auntie Stephanie says, Aloha, Mayor Alameda.
Aloha.
We have a fan from the Big Island, Mona Arai. Woohoo! Our mayor. Awesome, awesome. She's in Ocean View, she's saying.
Awesome.
And Susan says, Aloha, Mayor Alameda. Welcome and congratulations. You see, you get plenty of fans on Kauai too, my friend. See, what we cannot see Charlie right now. Right now, he's punching the computer. He's punching the computer as hard as he can. Okay, let's see. Anyway, Mayor Alameda.
Yes, sir.
While we're waiting for Charles to get his no, get here, Charlie. No, get here. Um, Thank you for joining us tonight, man. I appreciate you. I just finally got to meet you a few nights ago while you were on beautiful Kauai for the chamber event. You were with Uncle Charlie, and I just thought it'd be so much fun to have you on the show. So I appreciate. I know you're a busy guy, brand new mayor. So maybe you can start by introducing yourself and tell us how you got involved with politics or interested in politics enough to run for the highest seat in the county. How does that work, man? How does that work?
Oh, hey, thank you. I mean, thank you so much. I just, it's just, I'm just thrilled to be on your show because you was the go-to show when we was in COVID. Every other, I mean, you guys was awesome. It's such an honor to be on. And yeah, sorry, I'm in the deep south. There's a kau tree lighting ceremony. So I drove all the way out from Hilo, almost about an hour drive just to plug in the tree. But I got to also meet a lot of south people from the south side and Ka'u, Pahala. So tonight's an awesome night. So I just told them, hey, I gotta go to my friend's house. We'll go do this talk story. So I get here and sorry, the reception is low, which is expected for the deep south, like where we at. But no, politics. But that was something that I got kind of involved in when I was helping Billy Kinoy as his campaign manager. And so yeah, so ever since then I just watched him, do his thing and how he worked with people was kind of inspiring. So I always kept that in the back of my mind. If there's an opportunity for me, if I felt like the current leadership wasn't, pulling their weight, that I wouldn't mind jumping in and doing what he did, and kind of get the island all excited again and back on track. So super privileged. But yeah, thanks for asking.
Well, Mayor Kanui, good friend of mine and good friend of Uncle Charlie's and good friend of a lot of people in the state. And, I know everybody's saying that, hey, Mayor Alameda's personality, his mannerisms, and I'm looking at you at this in this screen, and you actually kind of look like him. I'm honest, man, and that's a compliment. That is, Charlie, are you there? No, that thing not working, man. What the heck? I don't know if he, sometimes Mayor, he'll do that. He'll just talk, move his lips, and no make sound, and drive me nuts because I'm pushing all the buttons trying to get him. Yeah, I'm not
That's
sure.
okay. We can talk about him now. He's not on. So.
Oh, but he can hear. Though. He can hear.
Oh yeah,
No,
it's
but
okay.
but I got very close to Mayor Kanui when he was the administrative assistant or managing director, what it was called, to Mayor Harry Kim many, many, many years ago. And he was just a special guy. He was just, I don't know if there'll ever be another Billy Canoy. It was so tragic that we lost him so young. But um, I'll put up this picture here because there's a story to this picture.
Okay.
Now you tell me that don't look like Mayor Alameda right there, standing next to me in front of some hotel. So I was at a conference on the Big Island. It was a Hawaii Association, a state association of counties conference, and the mayor showed up. In fact, the mayor was very, very active in the conference. And unfortunately, I had just had neck surgery, and I had to wear that silly thing on my neck for 6 weeks. So the doctors actually gave me okay to fly, and I showed up on the Big Island. And Billy Kenoi constantly harassed me about the brace. He said I was using them for sympathy. I was using them for get attention. Every chance he got, let me just see if I can bring Uncle Charlie back on here. Every chance he got, he would say, "Yeah, Reposo. That's what he just like attention. He just like attention." So one day after the last session was done, I had fly to the closest CVS. I bought him that neck brace, just so that he could get the attention, just like me. So we both had neck braces for the rest of the conference. So that was pretty cool. Charles, talk to me, Charles.
Testing 1, 2.
Okay, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
No, I'm using, and I apologize. I'm using my trusty phone. So hopefully you can hear me enough.
Oh, nice, loud and clear. Nice, loud and clear. So, Mayor, you have working with Billy and quite familiar with the political scene. But being the mayor is a tough job. The Big Island isn't called the Big Island for nothing, right? It is a huge island, as you just stated. You had to drive an hour just to go plug in a Christmas tree light, but got a chance to see constituents. How at what point did you say, okay, you know what, I've had enough. I'm going to run for mayor, and how
Hmm.
was that decision made?
Yeah.
Because your
It's about,
background, you're a PhD, you're a doctor, right?
yeah, psychologist.
Oh, Charlie, he's a psychologist. Something Charlie and
I
I
It's free
both need.
therapy for the.
I spent 2 days with the brother. So yep, he, he analyzed me, and I'm bona fide crazy.
Yeah. No, I decided about 2 years ago. So I started real early, and that made I think all the difference. I started, understanding the issues. I had over 70 talk stories. Every community, you tell me the community, I tell you the problem, and I also tell you the solution. So by the time I started, put up the website and you know, get the campaign managers. I had to have four campaign managers because Big Island big, so I had one from north, south, east, west. And I picked the campaign managers that the communities respect. They're honest, they're transparent, and so I was, utilizing their expertise to help me better understand each of the communities. So by the time I put my name in the hat, I had at least 1,000 supporters, and so we was already on a good momentum. And then there are some other folks who put their name in the hat, but I was pretty certain we would make at least the top two, and and so we got in the top two, and then the rest is history. But yeah, I started deciding about 2 years ago because I waited for the administration to see if there's any going to be any more changes than the Kim administration, because Harry Kim came back, yeah. So after
Mhm.
Billy, Harry came, and then he was kind of more in the retirement stage of his career. So I felt like never have that Kanoe energy, and then Mitch came on and putting to his I feel sorry for him because he had a heart attack the first week on the job. So kind of was on bad start, hard start, COVID. So you know, so there is reason why we kind of got off to one slow start too, but never recover. So but at second year, I was like, I don't think anything will change. So some of my inner circle said, "Boy, maybe you should run because now is your time." And plus, Billy was in the back of my mind too, and he said, if I don't put my name in that hat, and he was joking, of course, he's always joking. And he said, when you're sleeping, because this is right before he passed, yeah, and he already knew. He said, Kimo, you got to run. But right before he passed, we had a good talk story, heart to heart kind, and he kind of went joke. He said, "Bah, I'm not gonna be here long, but if you don't put your name in that hat, when you sleeping, I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna shake your bed." He said, so I always remember that. So I went to when I decided, I went to his family, his sisters, and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna run for office," and they said, "Hey, we support you 100%." So yeah, so I just felt like the results. I'm impatient for results. It could be genetic. I'm Portuguese. I like results quick.
That's
I know
it.
more patience for meritocracy. I like things happen. And the older I get, I feel like the shorter the smaller the window. So hey, Gowan team, we went from 1,000 supporters to 2,000 to 5,000, and we had signs all over the place. And I felt like, wow, we're gonna time this right. And sure enough, we get 9 districts on the island, and we won by 1,000 votes in every district.
Wow.
So we won by about 1,000, 9,000 votes.
Yeah, it was pretty strong finish there. And after the primary, I don't think anybody had a doubt that it was going to be the two of you. After the primary, you felt good though,
Yeah,
based
yeah,
on
I
the
felt real good
momentum.
because I felt like yeah, I could. I felt like the other, because 60% of the island voted for change. So after the primary, I was the only change option available.
Right.
So I knew we would win by as much as 60%. We ended up winning by 54%. So yeah,
Well, congratulations again. Congratulations again. What's
Yeah,
your biggest? Oh, go ahead, Charlie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to see, to the viewers out there, one thing that you're gonna be able to tell after tonight's broadcast is that Kimo is he's real. I mean, what he says, nothing is sugarcoated, and that's the heart-to-heart talk when he landed the first day, and I met him, and I took him around. We had a lot of time. We was in my vehicle, and driving around. He got to talk, and you know, like when you talk to politicians, there's a plus and minus of everything, right? This guy was just speaking from the heart, and he says, I'm gonna try and make them work, and if cannot, then we move on. We look for another option. But the options that he was talking about, that I got the real heartfelt sense, is that the options he's talking about is what the people want, and you just not can find that with politicians nowadays. So he truly is the voice of the people. I gotta say,
Mm.
and everybody's gonna feel that tonight when this broadcast is over. I guarantee you.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So, so Mayor, what is it? What you expected? I know it's still early on, but is it what you expected?
Oh man,
Um,
yeah. Thank you. Well, it's better. It's better than what I expected. I thought I was have a difficult time get my cabinet together. So we have 20 departments, but 11 of them I get to appoint, and man, people started say, Kimo, I like work for you. I like be on your team, and so I was like, oh, and so I was, I made a pledge. I made a pledge not to hire out of state. Because we get some tough departments, right? So just like every administration had to hire out of state for the engineer, they had to hire out of state for you know, and I actually wanted to not hire out of island. Like, if I could hire on island, appoint everybody on island, that would be amazing. And I just made my last appointment today for public works, all on island folks. So because to me, like I tell people, I no matter to me where you was born, because 48% of the people on the Big Island not born on the Big Island, but I am curious to know where you're gonna die. I like to know where you're gonna spread your ashes, right? Where you gonna bury your EV, because to me that's commitment. That, and if you're gonna bury your EV on this island or in this state, that's my definition of local. Welcome to the club, welcome to the family. And so that's the kind of people I was looking for on my team, and I was pleasantly surprised. So we're off to a great start, Raposo.
nice, nice. I mean, it frustrates me when we think, yeah, a lot of leaders, and not just in politics, not just in government, but just across the board, there is this ridiculous belief that the mainland talent is better than our local talent. That drives me nuts, Mayor. It's like, no,
Yeah.
we have a lot of good local people on this island throughout this state that are competent and qualified and can do the job. I don't know where this started. Where no, we get the guy from the mainland because they smarter. No, I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second.
I agree, and we've been educating our kids and our kids' for you know many over 80 years. So by this time, we should have developed local talent, and so we just gotta inspire people to want to work for government. And our campaign was super inspiring. So people was like, I said, hey, you're not gonna get paid the best in the county. The engineers, because I was going for the top, right? I like the best. But what I'm gonna tell you is you're gonna leave a legacy. And so I had to even go with some guys that was, kind of older guys that was kind of like almost retirement. And my pitch to them was, hey, just give me one last give back. Just one last give back, bro. Because I'm not in it for the money, right? I can make way more money outside in private practice, and I know you an engineer, and you can make way more money outside of practice. But the legacy, bro. So one last give back, and had Manawahines too. So we got a very diverse group, and so half of the cabinet they in it because they too want to leave something special, and that you cannot. It's priceless, yeah. So
Awesome. I get asked a lot what is the most serious issue or the most pressing issue on Kauai? I'm not going to ask you that question because you know this as well as I. You cannot just pick one because
Yeah,
there's so many. So it's not, if you say affordable housing, that doesn't mean that waste management, solid waste is number two. No, they for Kauai anyway, they're equally important. But what are your top issues, and in no particular order, but
sure.
that you got to tackle in this term?
Yeah. So right now, it's if I were to pick a theme, it's affordability, and then that kind of ties into quality of life. And so when I break them down, you know, I look at my monthly expense, sheet, and I see the biggest expense is my mortgage. For some people, gonna be rent. The next biggest expense is food. After that, it's like healthcare. So I kind of created 10 of these most expensive items, and I tried to figure out where can the county dig into this in each one, right? So mortgage, rent, food, healthcare, and the county, because county we get jurisdictions as state feds, but the county can dig into to some of these. And so for us, we gotta. For me, I feel like the one thing right off the bat is the permits. People gotta start working because I tried to look at all the low hanging fruit. You know, people gotta start working. So we get construction workers that they're not working because permits taking so long on our island. I don't know about you guys' island, but so it's like, wow, we got to get this out. So already in the past 2 weeks, I've created some out of the box policies that can get permits right out the door. So boom, our construction industry, they working now. So because if they're working, they got to go eat lunch. And then they gotta go, then they get extra money. They can go movies. Hey, they Christmas, they can go buy clothes. So then the economy starts to generate. But simultaneously, we got to look at housing too. But I don't like just houses because I don't like just build houses. I like build communities, right? So the idea of having this mindset that we're not just going to try to put people into houses because we get plenty people who are renting. But to me, if you're just renting your whole life, then you're not thriving. Yeah, you're just surviving. So I like locals move to home ownership, and the only way you can do that is you got to work with developers who have that same mindset. That yeah, hey, maybe you go build a couple houses on market value, but use the market value house for offset the workforce housing, so that you get mixed communities, not just I gave one talk to the Japanese chamber last night, and they said, "Tell us about the zoning policies." And I right off the bat, I said, to be honest, I think zoning is the last legal form of legal segregation. And they say, "Why?" I go, "Yeah, uh, as a legal form of segregation, actually, because when you make zoning so difficult for local people to be hanging out with other people, like Hawaiian homes, for example, Hawaiians, right? If I name out some of your districts on Kauai, I can tell you the nationality. Kekaha, Hawaiians, Kalaheo, Portuguese, right? We get that too on this island. Why is that? Right? That's because zoning, right? So I'm all about mixed use, and that's something that I'm going to try to push on our island as well, so that we're not mixing up kids in schools. So we should try all live integrated if possible. But those are the two big ones: the construction industry and housing.
Yeah. Uh, I don't think, I think we all share the same issues right now across all the islands, and the Big Island and Kauai, the bookends. It just seems like the further away you from the Honolulu, the less you get. So you just got to work a lot harder. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, let me
Charlie.
ask you a question, Mayor. This subject has been coming up, and it surrounds the county's getting its a fair share of the TAT. Now
Hmm.
there's talk about getting rid of the TAT and so forth and so forth. And if and you can agree or disagree, but
Oh,
we got to get new forms of cash infusion into the state, right? So that comes in the form of our tourism. But if you keep on really nailing and adding on these taxes, it becomes
Mhm.
to a point where only the rich can be able to provide, but their numbers are small compared to what is needed to really make a community survive financially, right? What is your take on the TAT and the possible takeaway? What is your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, at one point we were given our fair share, and then they took them all the state all of a sudden. It was like, oh, we like them, and I was like, whoa, but hey, like that's our toilet that they're flushing, and that's our roads that they're using, and our rubbish dump that's the, gotta mitigate all like how is it that you taking the tax that the tourists like that is still I still think that's unfair. I think it's unjust. I think the mayors tried to get together and fight it. I think the state not like let that go. And now they're talking about property tax. I just heard I read an article in a popular magazine that said that they might take our property tax even so.
Yeah, Mayor, and I'm glad we're on tonight because that's one of the issues. That's Yamashita from the
Mm,
legislature. I read it in a couple of days ago. I read it. I think it was in Civil Beat,
mm,
and he was quoted the general excise tax, which is the tax we pay on everything.
oh,
He wants to take that away,
oh, okay.
and and then well, as well as the TAT. Now, I mean, and then have the counties. They wanna tack on a state real property tax, but they with the monies that they take back from the counties, he is saying it is only right that the counties should raise their property taxes to make up the difference. Now that would destroy the the counties. It would just destroy the counties. So that is something that we as all the counties, your conference of mayors and the association of counties, going to have to come together this year and go fight hard. We did it before with the TAT at the legislature, and we're going to have to do it again because I'm not sure what that guy is thinking, but what he's saying is going to destroy the state. It's just going to fiscally destroy the state.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, the state, the, from when I started in the council back 22 years ago, the counties are now, and I'm talking about all four counties, are taking on more of the burdens that the state used to take on. And now the counties, because we don't want to see those social services to be lost to our keiki,
Right.
to our kupuna. So the counties have taken up a lot more than they used to 20 years ago. And this is just going to create much more of a problem. So it's
Right.
going to be a discussion. Charlie, that's a great question because regardless, we need the state to take care of their constituents, which just happens to be ours, our
Yeah.
constituents as well.
Well, Mel and Kimo, the reason why I asked the question of Kimo, because of the way he comes across and he talks to the people through this platform, I feel his responses warrants touching every man, woman, community leader, whoever they may be living in Hawaii that has chosen Hawaii as their home and not leaving Hawaii because it's unmanageable. I think Kimo will be able. His responses is just straightforward. There's no political agenda to it. It's just right is right and wrong is wrong.
Mhm.
And you have to agree with me, Mel. Over the years we kind of lost that, right? We're listening to things that okay, you're saying this because it's politically correct. Okay, but what about when things go haywire? Who suffers in the meantime? Those are the kind of things that I think we all gotta pay attention to. And I know spending some time with Kimo these last couple of days, I was able to hear some points that I never heard before, and I said, "Hey, it makes sense, right? Makes
Mhm.
sense." And when you get an approach like that, oh man, like I said, man, whew, if everybody was on the same page, I mean, we all not the same. That's what make the world go round. We cannot be the same.
Right.
But if you're just not afraid to tell it like it is, and yet be humble when you say it, and tell them, hey, nobody gonna get hurt. It's just that we gotta pull the plow together. We gotta paddle that canoe together. not what one person gonna do it all. It's got to be a whole team behind this approach.
Right. I agree, and that's why I believe in home rule. You know, I believe that since we're already doing mental health, because we're doing mental health to the county, and we, you know, we get the Office of Aging. It's kind of like, you know, it's another like a mental health part of mental health too, and helping the caregivers with all this stress. And then, you know, and then we're doing education too in some respects. You know, we got a preschool program now. It's like, you know, we're even doing adult mental health. Like we're doing things that, and I worked for the state 15 years, and I'm like, when did this ever become a county function? I mean, even in our county, I feel so sad for our veterans. You know, Charlie, and because I feel I like, so I'm at the verge right now of creating a position for veterans so that they can help, so somebody can help them navigate the system so they can get their benefits, so they can get their pensions, because they don't understand how to navigate this crazy veterans administration. But then again, that's the Fed's job. But like, hey, you're right. So, you know, all I like the state and the Feds do is be a fiscal pass through
Yeah,
and let us do our thing.
yeah. I mean, I think the counties would be the first to step up to provide the services, but you cannot. The state and the feds cannot expect the counties to pick it all up without any kind of subsidy from them. I mean, I think we are definitely in a position because we are the local government that we can, um, but we cannot do it without their help. And I think that's
Yeah.
what Charlie's saying. Everybody got to pull the plow together, and sometimes it's very very frustrating because it's so hard. And applying for federal grants, they got a lot of grants, but it's not that simple to go get them, and there's just a lot of obstacles. And you bring up the good point about the veterans. There's really nothing here. We did years ago. We created on the county council. We created a veterans committee just so that we at least they have a place to go in the county, so we can at least guide them in the right direction and deal with any issues that they have. But
Mm.
it has improved, but our veterans are not getting the proper services that they deserve, especially our
Yeah.
combat veterans,
Hmm.
especially our combat veterans.
Yeah.
Mayor, you seeing a departure of your local residents, your kids going off to the mainland and for school and not coming back, or
Yeah.
finding. I know
Yeah.
it's a little. The median home costs on the Big Island is a little less than Kauai, but still high. So you guys are seeing that as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I have 7 children, and one is planning to leave in a year. They're going to Utah. Her husband's from Utah. The deal was, you get married, that's all good, but come home. So they living with me now. Uh, and then but it's like that. I like live on my own. I mean, thank you for us living with you, but I went and to the job market. I can qualify for a loan as a school teacher. Well, she's a school teacher, and my husband's a union worker. But our combined income no reach 700,000, which is like one bedroom. You know that kind. So, but we did some research in Utah, and our combined income would easily get us a home at 400,000. Beautiful home, six, five, 4 bedrooms. So I said, Dad, I think I'm gonna move. That was the discussion last night. I was like, oh man, you know, and that hurts, and that's sad.
Yeah.
So
You know what? You know one thing I will say. If we look at how the housing prices have just skyrocketed, I don't fault anybody in trying to invest and make money for this. I don't fault that at all. Okay, that's the free market out there. I get it. But what I do oppose sometimes is looking at how, I know that materials are a little bit more because you got to pass on the cost of the shipping, right? And you get all of these things because Hawaii depends on either air, by sea, or air because we don't have rail, right? We don't have any kind of rail system. We're an island state. We're divided by water, and yet when when everything starts looking good, these homes, there is no breakdown that accounts for, okay, what is this, what is this, what is this, what is this. It's like it's shoved down everybody's throat, take it or leave it. So then you get a lot of these people that come over here and invest, and they part-time residents. So again, we start moving out, and that's why I always look towards. And I want your take on this, Kimo. For as far as developers who are willing to help build a community affordable, I look at it as, if we allow them to build with some certain clauses in there, like if you buy a affordable home and you decide to move, the first right of sale is back to the person who built that home, the developer, right? So we
Mm.
keep everything in Hawaii. We're not selling it to somebody out of state that only maybe come here, and enjoy their property 2 3 times a year, and the rest of the time, doing whatever they want to do. And it's those things that I kind of, wanted to pick your brain and see how you feel about that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the second homeowner, the one that coming over here just for a couple weeks. That's the one that's hurting us. Yeah. So this, if we should tax it, that's the one that should be taxed. Uh, as high as my colleagues would allow me to do that. But because those are empty homes, and so that's one thing. The second one is the vacation rentals, especially the illegals, because those are also another area that decreases the supply of local families, because those vacation homes locals can afford on vacation home, especially the rent. So we got to look at what's causing this supply and demand issue, and I think start addressing it head on. Because the longer we wait, time is so precious. Time is just clicking, and so, like I said, we got to take some bold action. And I'm doing it already, and bring my planning department guys together. I brought public works together, and I said, hey, um, I want us to look at resort tax for every vacation home. For every vacation rental, you act like one hotel, we're going to resort tax you then. You know, especially if you're not the primary, if it's not your primary residence, so we're going to tax you first. We gotta de-incentivize the rich from just using Hawaii how they like, because I agree, it's a problem.
Yeah, we did. With this last tax year, we brought the TVR rate up to the resort rate. So on Kauai, they're paying the resort rate,
Wow.
and we tiered it. So the higher value TVRs are actually paying a higher rate than the resorts. Um, yeah, we pissed a lot of people off, but listen, like you said, they are benefiting on the shoulders of our local kids and our local
Mm.
residents. And
Mhm.
some of these homes will never ever be an affordable home. Yeah, the ones on the coast, the big mansions, but so many of our neighborhoods now have regular family homes, the regular homes, not nothing fabulous. That if we tax them high enough, then the hope is to bring that back into the inventory that could be either rented or sold to a local family. But
Mhm.
it's the TVRs has been a big problem for us on Kauai for many years,
Mhm.
and I think, yeah, they should be paying at least the resort. And the
Yeah.
difference between a resort and a TVR is a resort employs a lot of people. Kind of what you were saying about the construction workers that are on the bench right now because of permits. Well, we get them on the work on the jobs, we get them working, then the economy gets stimulated. Same like the resorts. The TVRs, although they profess that they hire a lot of people, I know for a fact because I know the people that are working for vacation rentals. Many of them are working for cash. Many of them are working for under and if they can get away with it, that's fine. But my point is that the resorts are contributing significantly more to the local community or the local environment just because of the mere volume of workers that they have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we got hammered on that, but we have to generate revenue so we can assist working with developers to put up more housing units for our local residents. I love your definition of local, by the way. I think I'm going to steal that, if you don't mind.
Of course.
I actually, that's probably the best definition of local I have heard in my life. No, I'm serious. Where you going to lay your ashes? I think that to me, that's that's it. That's the ticket.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Hey,
because that's yeah.
oh, Mr. Mayor, let me. I and I apologize. I've been calling you Kimo, and it should be Mr. Mayor
No.
because you are the newly
Yeah, well, hey, for
elected mayor.
tonight he's our doctor. He's actually I
Yeah.
set it up, Charlie, so you and I can get the therapy that we so need.
Well, I'm telling you this, Mel. Just in the first 15 minutes, I feel much better.
Yeah, me
I,
too.
I,
Me
I,
too.
I went from a reclined position sitting up now. So thank you very much, Dr. Kimo. But I wanted to ask you the importance because we get a lot of kids out there struggling
Mm,
um, with education. They're
Mm.
struggling, and some kids are gifted athletically, and maybe not so much in the classroom, but they get by with just enough. I wanted to kind of like pick your brain and see, what could you tell the viewing audience tonight about how we can help our kids maybe better their future by getting one education, by going to college.
Mm.
There's some that feel, yeah, I just go straight to work, and for whatever circumstance it may be, maybe the parents are too elderly, they cannot work, and they have hard times. The child is saying, mommy and daddy, I go work, I go make us money. But overall, you need that education. What would you tell the viewing audience out there?
Yeah. Well, first I would tell parents. Remember this now, parents. Yeah, because I have seven and I get experience. But parents, your outer voice becomes your child's inner voice. So if you negative and you criticize and you blaming and the kid is raised in a negative environment where you know can or why you did that for, or how come you did that, you stupid kid. Uh, your outer voice becomes their inner voice, and once kids have this sense of they no can, they just the lack of confidence. There's nothing you can do to try to throw them to college. So first and foremost, kids gotta live in an environment where can always can, and a positive environment. And once kids feel like shucks, hey, I can do anything, because that's how I was raised. My dad always raised me. It's like boy, you can do anything you like, And in fact, the best thing somebody can tell me is I know can. I say thank you. That's so inspirational. So so so, so it's like so parents, if you can just surround your kid with positivity. Every time they get negative, give them one positive. Be that support for them, because then your outer voice can be their inner voice. And then once kids, now this is to the kids, right? So once you get that sense like I can, then you make small goals, like little goals. They say a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Not think so big, right? So if you high school, hey, just 2 year degree. Hey, you get your 2 year degree, hey, 2 more years. Now you get your bachelor's. Shucks, 2 more years is your master's. You got 2 more years, now you're a doctor. And I would just keep getting educated as much as you can, because you can always fall back on stuff. Like but education will open doors this way. And nothing wrong with, you know, working right out of high school. It's just that I feel from my experience, you're gonna get limited options. And to me, more options equals greater happiness. If you're stuck someplace and you feel like you know more options, then you're gonna feel junk. But education allows options. And if you choose education, you choose for work, and you like just get that experience. Then and if you love it, then it's not work. Then you can bring your passion to it and stick with it. But I would encourage education as the first. Try go get them, and then if you're already into a profession or into a trade or into the military, go for it. But try to be the boss. Yeah, just work your way up as much as possible. Because it is possible. Nothing's impossible. Look at us three guys. We never thought that we was going to be on this show or be at where we at. but here we are. So everything's possible.
Whew, that was inspiring, man. But that is so true. And today the opportunities for education, through these online programs and the remote programs and the satellite programs, now you can go to some of these big schools and you can do it locally. And then the trades as well. I mean, the trades, that whole trades, some people really are not built for college, uh, but they are definitely built for the trades, and the education that they get in the trade schools. But yeah, I think that is where, and that's the downside of where we're at today in society, and it's not just here in Hawaii, but in many states, because it's so tough and everybody struggles, and because parents are working two or three jobs, that's what the kids are seeing. It's kind of depressing and it's kind of demoralizing. So yeah, Doc. I mean, that's kind of the way we got to be. We just got to be positive. We just got to, yeah. I try. That's kind of like my second full time job is talking to my two kids about, hoy, pick yourself up and move forward because you can. You
Yeah, you
can.
can.
There's,
Well,
Yeah.
there's,
the other question I wanted to pose to the doc, and this is a little bit the tempo and the temperature of what I'm about to say might be a little colder, but I think it has to be said. Doc, what you just mentioned is so true, and it's so needed that we gotta struggle take little bites out of the apple, right? Until you finish the apple. So I know in these past years we hear these stories of our youth committing suicide. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's just so much. And back in our time, back if you look back in the late '60s, early '70s, none of us would entertain that. What can you say to our viewers out there? What's your thoughts? Because you deal with mental illness on a regular
Mm-hmm.
basis in your profession. Can you share a little bit and your thoughts about it?
Sure. I mean, first, what we can do is we can pay attention to the telltale signs. Yeah. So local people, especially local boys, their depression come from relationships. So local boys, they break up with their girlfriend. You got to keep an eye on them, okay? Because that could be on trigger. For local girls, it's relationships with their parents. So when the parents, mom or dad, the thing not going good, you like pay attention to them. Another telltale sign for locals is, especially local men, is when they say things like, because they're not gonna tell you, "Oh, I like kill myself." Well, they might, but if they start saying things like, "I tired," how you, bro? Oh, I tired, bro. I tired. Oh, you tired of what? So you like have them talk, because it is true the suicide rate has increased, and it could be to economics. Getting hard time make ends meet. Could be relationships, and it's sad because a lot of times it's our youth. And so when I work with youth and I know that they get suicide thoughts, I just be open about it. I said, hey, bro, I've been watching you kind of sound like you like kill yourself. I mean, is that is that what's happening? Or I just kind of like the elephant in the room. So no sense kind of beat around the bush on that kind. So, and then I said, that's one option. Like, yeah, we all can take ourselves out. Like, that's one option, but you get other options, and that's the key. That people got to know that when they're down in the dumps, that they have other options, and one option is to call me or call uncle. That's one option. Okay, and that's a good option, right? Another option is to just stay alive. Okay, because what was one real stressful event for me 10 years ago. I forget already. So because like high school, or like kill myself, I forgot already. So if you stay alive, it shall pass. Some of these things. So we gotta just keep you alive, bro. So we kind of come up with a plan on when they're feeling down. As long as they get somebody for talk to, that's some big help. So to the guys that feeling down and like, hey, shucks, you feel like you know more options. Just know that you get options. And the thing is this: we don't know what God get planned for us. I never know I was going to be the mayor. I mean, hello. I mean, sure. Like you might be the mayor, like you might be the principal or the police officer that we need, or the firefighter, brother. So or sister, you might be the next governor. So whoa, give yourself one chance. So they just need hope, and that hope and that light can get them through many things. But thanks for asking.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank.
Yeah, it's that early intervention. It's the hope. Yeah, just making sure that they understand and know that there is hope, and yeah, it is definitely an issue that we got to be aware of. And some of the things we cannot ignore. We simply cannot ignore. There's so much I like ask you, but I know we only get about 5 minutes left, Mayor. I know you're a busy guy. You got to drive back another hour now back home.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh! So yeah, I appreciate you being with us tonight. You get any closing comments you want for our viewers out there?
Well, I gotta say, I was so impressed with being on Maui, and I just got a warm embrace by the two of you. Thank you so
No, that's
much.
Kauai. Kauai. Kauai.
I mean,
He was
yeah,
on Kauai.
Kauai, Kauai. That's right, Kauai. You guys are awesome.
Thank
Nah,
you.
and I've watched this show and I was inspired by your guys' dialogue. It's like to the point. It's it is what it is. You guys don't hold back, and that's the kind of honest communication that I hope to bring to the Big Island as a mayor. And I think if I can keep it honest, like how you guys keep it honest, I can keep it transparent and just from the heart, you know, then I think that's the winning combination. And so I'm looking forward to this mayorship, and looking forward to our continual friendship on Kauai. I hope to be back and hanging out with you folks. So, but yeah, thank you so much for inviting me on, and I appreciate. I love you guys. I love you, Kauai.
Yeah, Charlie. Any closing thoughts before we let the mayor go?
Yes, I would like to say in closing, if anybody who watches tonight, you've heard the comments that, oh man, he's just like the late mayor and a great person, Billy Kino. But I think tonight solidified one thing, and that is Dr. Kimo Alameda has his own style and his own approach, and that is tell it like it is, and he goes straight for the heart, but he comforts you in what he says. So I just like to thank him uh, and send out a ton of love. Thank you so much for answering some of the tough questions that I posed, but I think the people out there needed to hear that. And to you viewers out there, I will say this: his door is always open. If you're on the Big Island and he's got time, he'll make time to talk to you because when we walked into that chamber event and he came in, he was just surrounded by people that just wanted to say hi and give their best wishes and much success on his tenure as the mayor of the Big Island of Hawaii. And his response, he never turned away from anyone. Even, I mean, he genuinely stayed there and talked story with almost 250 something people in that room. And it was just simply amazing. So thank you so much, Mayor, for joining us tonight. And that's my closing thoughts, my brother Mel.
Right on. Hey, Mayor, I just putting up some of these comments. Very impressive, down to earth. Michelle Ota says they love you. Uh, Mahalo and drive safe. We love you. I cannot
Yeah.
wait to connect with you again and really pick your brain. Next time on a Big Island, I'll make sure I give you a holler. But yeah, appreciate you giving us the time tonight. Again, stay
Awesome.
safe. God bless. Drive carefully tonight, sir. Drive carefully. Keep your eyes on the wheel.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you,
Actually,
Charlie.
keep your eyes on the road, not the wheel. Keep your eyes on the road.
Hey, reporter Gee, I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
Okay. All right, guys. Hey, to the viewers, thank you, guys. We catch you guys next week. You guys take care. God bless. We love you guys. Aloha, Kimo. Take care.
Aloha.
Aloha. Take care. Aloha.